What is going on, everybody? Trev Wilson here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Ranch. Today is some booze news. We have several upcoming whiskeys coming for 2023 that you need to look out for. Now, these are either bottles that have already been announced by the distillery, we have images of the bottles, or we have TTB photos of the label that have been submitted. So we know that they're coming. They're gonna be released sometime soon. We have several bottles to get through, so let's just get right into it. Starting the list off is, one of my favorite all-time distilleries. I don't know if you could tell, going to the newest release, the Maker's Mark 2023 limited release, the BEP. Now, this is super interesting because there is a lot of stuff surrounding this that is quite telling. This is not just another limited release. So over on their website, we need to head on over there to check this out. Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series 2023. This shipment, we're bringing you the final installment of our Wood Finishing Series first chapter, a tribute to our lower barrel entry proof. By its side is our very first private selection created by members of the Whiskey Drop by Maker's Mark. So, what's going on right here is you can sign up if they ship to you for this program where they will ship you these bottles as they're released. Pretty cool. Jim Beam does something like that too. So you're gonna get hands on the BEP, and you're gonna get hands on the Caramel Popcorn Private Select pick, which, who doesn't want another pick? This is very telling, and I have some more information that I'm gonna read that's going to this is crazy, okay? And I think they are telling us without directly telling us something. So here, let me continue. To celebrate our 110 entry proof, we've created an expression that features even more of what you get from a lower entry proof. More wood sugars, more barrel characteristics, and ultimately a flavorful sip. Here we go. This right here is it. This is the meat and potatoes. Our first chapter of the Wood Finishing Series has been a way of honoring all the elements that make Maker's Mark. But with this seventh and final expression, we're closing the chapter out with a just as exciting chapter to follow. This is how I'm gonna take this, and you can take it however you want, but this is what I'm feeling. Chapter 1, they're talking about lower barrel entry proof. They go in at 110, and then the highest makers I have stuff that's straight from the barrel poured into a glass, and it's 112. They have done the DNA series where they did different entry proofs. We're talking 125 proof makers. I'm thinking this is going to be the end of the Wood Finishing Series at the 110 proof, and then they're gonna start doing different entry proofs, higher entry proofs. We're gonna start seeing Maker's Mark limited releases at higher proofs. Sign me up. I'm all in. I think that's what's going down. I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm calling it now. So super excited for the BEP 2023. Looks like it's coming out around March. Super excited for that. So let's go ahead, move on to the next bottle. Let me settle down a little bit. This next bottle that's coming out, or a series of bottles, is a local distillery of mine. And normally I wouldn't do craft stuff all that much because I know the reach is not that much, but I really didn't know about this Column Still collection that's coming out of Rocktown. My local hometown distillery, absolutely love them. I started reading up on what the Column Still collection is. This is a collaboration with Bardstown Bourbon Company. They contract distilled for this. They typically do their own stuff, but they contract distilled through Bardstown Bourbon Company, and then they're taking that and letting it age in Little Rock, where they're at. My hopes, and why I'm bringing this up and putting this on the list, is I'm hoping that working with Bardstown Bourbon Company gets them a little more, eyes on them and gets the distribution out there a little bit, because for one, I think Rocktown, their own stuff is amazing. Two, hopefully whatever comes of this Bardstown Bourbon Company is also really good. I just think a lot of people need to experience this. They have their own stuff that's amazing. It needs to get out there. I'm hoping this is amazing. They have this cast strength. They have the small batch. They have a whole collection with this Bardstown Bourbon Company thing. So super excited for that. Maybe a little selfish. I got to rep my hometown. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's move on to the next bottle being released. This is out of Old Forester. This is the Old Forester 117 series. The next release of this, I believe it's distillery only. I don't know if any local stores do it, but I know you can go to the distillery and you might have a chance of getting them. They sell them in 375 little bottles. This one is bottled in bond, and there's a kicker to this because you think Old Forester's got a bottled in bond. Yeah, they do, except for this one comes from the spring of 2014. It is the release date, July 2023. So you're looking at a 9-year-old bottled in bond. The 1897, the Old Forester Whiskey Row 1897 is not 9. And that bottle's freaking delicious. I absolutely love that bottle. So I'm imagining just this is going to be an aged version of that, which I'm all for. That sounds amazing. It's just going to be a more complex version of that one. All day long, I will love to drink that bottle. Now, am I going to get this? Or a majority of people going to get this? Probably not, unless I just so happen to be at the distillery on the drop or something. But, there is a chance. There is a chance. Small chance, but we might get it. I know some of you guys are going to get it and probably rub it in my face because they know that I love that bottle. All right, let's move on to the next bottle on the list, coming out of Blood Oath Pact number 9. Now, I'm not the biggest collector of these. For one, I don't really see them all that often. They come and go. Sometimes they'll show up and they just sit on the, behind the counter shelf, just kind of tucked away hidden. But I've never really been that into collecting and getting them, but thought this was exciting. This next release, the Pact 9, finished in Oloroso sherry casks, which is pretty cool. I've been calling this, we've been seeing this for a while now, but a few years back, I kind of called that we're going to be seeing a lot more finished bourbons. Blood Oath has already been doing finishes for several years, but recently, Oloroso sherry port finish bourbons have been winning really high accolades in, whiskey competitions, the spirits competition, the San Francisco, all that stuff. They've been winning really high awards, and I think, I'm sure this has been in the plans before all of these gold medals and stuff, but I think this is just a sign that more and more people are going to be finishing in sherry and port. I think that sherry and port are great bottles to finish bourbon in. I think the flavors just go together. I think that's why we're seeing a rise in it, because it does work. We're seeing a rise in people try the craziest finishes. Just finish it in anything that you've never heard of, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think, the sherry, port, stuff like that, I think are kind of, I wouldn't say safe, but we know it's going to be pretty dang good. So if you're into Blood Oath, Pact 9, going to be Oloroso sherry finished. All right, let's move on to the first rye and the only rye of the list. So Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye. So the Jack Daniels, they got the bonded and the bonded triple mash that I think was a really huge success in 2022. As much as I've hated on the Jack Daniel's bonded, mainly just for, winning an award somewhere, I'm really glad that those bottles were released. I think they were needed. I think Jack Daniel's needed that more budget-friendly to the bourbon connoisseur. Most Jack Daniel's budget stuff is towards bars and people who are shooting straight out of the freezer. I don't think people who were sipping bourbon were really going for the budget. They didn't really have a budget Jack option. And I think those bonded bottles really fit that bill. Here we go, Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye. I have not personally tried the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye or the other rye they have, like the old number 7 rye. I do have this special release that they did, the Barrel Proof Rye. and it's freaking incredible. So now, am I saying this is going to be a budget version of that? Probably not, but I think it's still going to take elements of that, proof it down, drop the age a little bit, make it a little more affordable, while still delivering a really good flavor that you want to pour and drink neat and enjoy it, and can be a connoisseur over some Jag Rye. So I'm excited for this. Again, I don't know the plans of this. This is just a TTB photo. You know, it's coming sometime soon. Super excited for that. So let's move on to the next two. These are both coming out of Heaven Hill, neither of which are bourbon. So they're making some moves. They're doing some crazy stuff. And we'll start with the one that probably won't get, because I haven't gotten any of the other ones, which is the Heaven Hill Heritage Collection 20-year-old corn whiskey. There we go, 20-year-old corn whiskey. It would be easy to assume that this is like 20-year-old mellow corn. Mellow corn, I think, is like 100% corn, or as much corn as you can. I don't know, you know, this is not 100% corn. The breakdown, corn whiskey mash bill comprised of 80% corn, 12% malted barley, and 8% rye. You know, honestly, I should probably check the mellow corn recipe. Quick Google search, which I probably should have done before making the statement, is the mellow corn appears to be 90% corn, so a little more corny. So hey, might as well. This is basically, you know, 20-year-old mellow corn. I take it all back. That's what we do on the Booze News. We go back and we check ourselves and we correct ourselves. Honestly, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. These heritage collections, pretty dang hard to get. I'm not gonna lie. MSRP is going to be $289.99. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. You know, I think this is going to be a hit amongst the Heaven Hill fans. I think people are really going to like that, especially the whole mellow corn thing. I think it's just going to be awesome. 110 barrels going into this. Now, I will say, this is going to be a quick little Patreon plug, because the Bourbon Ridge Patreon page, you know, you might not be able to get one of these 20-year-old corn whiskeys from Heaven Hill, but we are dropping a 27-year-old corn whiskey. Granted, it's coming from Canada, pretty good, just doesn't say Kentucky corn whiskey on it. But here's the kicker, coming in at a whopping 158 proof hazmat 27-year-old corn whiskey. Come on, this specific bottle, all the proceeds will be going to charity too, so it's just a win-win. You get good whiskey, we help out a charity. Go check out the Patreon page. Go see what you can get. We have several picks coming. You don't want to miss out. All right, moving on to the last bottle on this list. I'm excited for this because I might actually be able to get these. Bernheim Kentucky Straight Wheat Whiskey Barrel Proof. Now, you might notice it's got A223 on there, because this is going to be another batched product like the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof and the Larceny Barrel Proof. Now they're bringing the wheat whiskey into the game, the Bernheim batched. But there is a difference. The others, you know, Larceny and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof are released 3 times a year. This Bernheim is going to be 2 batches per year. And I know the original Bernheim is age stated at 7 years. This one is aged between 7 and 9. Again, I don't know if there's 9-year-old stuff in the original Bernheim, but that's what they say about this one. Non-chill filtered, go figure. If you're going to do barrel proof, you might as well be non-chill filtered. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. And this is a wheat whiskey. This is not a wheated bourbon. It is 51% rye, 37% corn, and 12% malted barley. It's like the first wheated barrel proof we even got. I mean, there's not a whole lot of wheated bourbons on the market. So it's going to be exciting to see a barrel strength version of it, see what it brings to the table. It is, you know, low wheat, I guess. You know, it's like a low rye, the barely legal rye, where, you know, the 51% rye could almost deceive you into just being a spicier bourbon. I'm sure this is going to trick us into being a, you know, like wheatier wheated bourbon. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see what it is. 118.8 proof. I don't know. I think this is going to be really cool. I think it's cool that Heaven Hill is continuing to just put out stuff like this. Just take their portfolio that's already there, make it barrel proof, do whatever you want with it. It's fun. So there we have it. 2023 shaping up to be one crazy year. A lot of stuff coming, a lot of cool things. Let me know down below which of these you're the most excited for. Are there things you're not excited for about the list? Just go leave a comment. We can discuss this, start a conversation. Let's see what each other thinks. Let's pick each other's brain. Go down there, leave a like, leave a subscribe button on your way out of here. I'm super excited. As more and more things are announced, we will keep doing this. I'm excited for 2023. I'm excited to hopefully get the chance to review some of these as they come out. And until next time, guys, I'm Trev Wilson. I will see you in the next video.